In this video, we will talk about the main causes when a car loses power when accelerating. I will indicate the most common faults, and finally I will tell you the less frequent but usually present many problems to detect them. I recommend you to follow each of the steps so you can solve your problem. So let's start. The first thing I recommend you to check is the MAF sensor. This is responsible for measuring how much air is entering the engine and therefore how much oxygen reaches the cylinders. That way it will calculate how much injection should inject the injectors. Sometimes when this sensor fails or is missing any of its elements, for example ground, current, or is not getting the signal to the computer, we could have the symptoms that the vehicle does not develop at times. Something very common is that the vehicle may stop accelerating or may lose power when accelerating. To know how to check this sensor, I will leave a complete video in the description. Another of the things we should check are the spark plugs. See what state it is in, but most importantly is whether they are right for the engine. There is a mistake that is made when buying any spark plug, and this should not be so, because there are different types. There are longer, there are shorter, there are conventional, there are platinum, double platinum, among others, and buy a wrong spark plug, causing loss of power when accelerating, among other problems. What spark plugs should you use? The recommended is the one that came from the agency. So I recommend that you buy this part directly from the brand. And in case you want another model, ask which one fits your car without affecting engine performance. Another reason why the vehicle is losing power when accelerating, or sometimes even turn off, is the MAP sensor located in the intake manifold. And if this sensor is not working properly, most likely the vehicle will lose a lot of power, and sometimes it can even stop or even take a long time to start. That can be verified in the scan. I'll leave you a detailed video of how you can check it below in the description. The ignition coils is one of the components where most often presents failures due to heating. When not working properly, does not send enough voltage to the spark plugs, leading to incomplete combustion, which causes what is the loss of power when accelerating. We will also have vibrations, pulls, and also we see a smoke in the exhaust to know if your coil is working. I'll leave you a video below. Also friends, catalytic converters, when they are plugged, cause loss of power when accelerating. And this is difficult to detect because when we put the scanner does not come out any error code. I recommend that you do the following check. How the exhaust is blowing. If you see that the exhaust blowing is very poor, it is likely that the catalytic converter is clogged and the exhaust gases cannot get out, and that is resulting in loss of power in the engine. Another very common cause is the time. Sometimes when we want to go with that friend who is going to accommodate the car, maybe we make some mistakes and leave the time wrong. This causes the car does not develop as it should be and begins to lose power when accelerating. We can also hear a small rattle. If you have this, is possibly an indication that your car is out of time and that is causing the loss of power in the engine. As last options, I recommend that we check the compression of the engine. I do not know if it has happened to you that you have weight in the car and you are going up to a bridge, and you feel that the vehicle is very heavy. No matter how much you accelerate, it does not develop, and you realize that you have no power even when you accelerate. This happens because the engine is possibly losing compression. I recommend you to check each of the cylinders to verify why it is losing compression. Another reason for the loss of power when accelerating is that there is a vacuum leak in the intake manifold. To detect it, we can use the scanner and check the pressure of the intake manifold. The vacuum pressure in this case should be between 30 or 35 kilopascals. And if we have 40, 50, 60 kilopascals, is likely to have an air leak, and we would have to find either in a hole that is potentially where the leak could be. Leave me a like if this video helped you, and if you need any help, write it in the comments. We will be answering you. Subscribe to the channel and activate the notifications so you don't miss the next.